Very first thing you do every single morning is actually making your sciatica worse. Not the way you lift things, not the way you sit at night, but the specific way you wake up and start your day. I know that might sound surprising, but after working with hundreds of older adults who have struggled with this exact problem, I can tell you with complete confidence that the morning routine, or the lack of one, is one of the most powerful and most overlooked factors in whether sciatica gets better or stays stuck. And today, I am going to show you exactly what to do differently, starting tomorrow morning, so that you can begin breaking that cycle of waking up in pain and finally start feeling like yourself again. This is not about complicated exercises. This is not about going to the gym or buying expensive equipment. What I'm about to share with you is simple, it is practical, and it is based on real science about how the spine and the sciatic nerve actually behave in those critical first minutes after you wake up. So please stay with me, because the next several minutes could genuinely change the way you start every single day for the rest of your life. And if you are watching this and you are not yet part of our community, please take just a second right now to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Here at Dr. Alex Morgan Aging Wellness Lab, we are committed to giving you honest, research-based health information that actually makes a difference in your daily life, especially for those of us who are navigating the very real challenges of aging. We release new content every week, and we want you there for every video. Now let us get into what is really going on with your sciatica every morning, and more importantly, what you can do about it. To understand why mornings are so critical for sciatica sufferers, we first need to understand something about what happens to your spine while you sleep. Most people assume that lying down is the easiest thing you can do for your back. And in some ways that is true. The pressure on your spinal discs when you are lying down is significantly lower than when you are standing or sitting. But here is the part that most people do not know. While you sleep, your spinal discs actually absorb fluid. They rehydrate overnight, and as a result, by the time you wake up in the morning, your discs are slightly more expanded, slightly more pressurized than they will be at any other point during the day. In healthy spines with healthy discs, this is not a problem, but if you have a disc that is already bulging or herniated, or if you have inflammation around the sciatic nerve, that extra fluid pressure in the morning can significantly increase nerve irritation. This is why so many sciatica sufferers describe their worst pain happening first thing in the morning before they have even gotten out of bed. But disc pressure is only part of the story. Here is something else happening while you sleep that most people are completely unaware of. Your muscles, particularly the deep hip muscles, including the piriformis, undergo a process of slight stiffening overnight. When you are still and the body temperature drops slightly during sleep, the soft tissues around your hips and lower back lose some of their elasticity, they become less pliable, and if you have been sleeping in a position that places any torsional stress on the lower spine, which most people do without realizing it, those muscles wake up already in a shortened, tight, somewhat guarded state. And then what do most people do? They roll over abruptly, swing their legs off the side of the bed, and stand up quickly. In the span of about 5 seconds, they have gone from lying still with tight, cold, stiff muscles and an expanded, pressurized disc to being fully upright and bearing full body weight. And for someone with sciatica, that transition can be genuinely shocking to the nervous system. It is no wonder so many people describe that first moment of getting out of bed as one of the most painful parts of their entire day. Let me introduce you to someone who experienced this exact pattern. His name was Gerald, and he was 68 years old when he first reached out after watching one of our earlier videos. Gerald had been dealing with left-sided sciatica for about 14 months. The pain ran from his lower back, through his left buttock, and down the back of his thigh, sometimes all the way to his calf. He had good days and bad days, but the mornings were consistently the worst part. He told me that his alarm would go off at 6:30, and from the moment he opened his eyes, he was already dreading the process of getting out of bed. He had started sleeping with a heating pad because he thought the warmth might help. He had tried getting up slowly, but even slow felt agonizing. He felt like a man twice his age every single morning, and it was affecting not just his body, but his spirit. When I went through Gerald's morning routine in detail, I found several things that were directly contributing to his pain. First, he was sleeping on his side without any support between his knees, which meant his top leg was falling forward and creating a rotational pull on his lower spine for hours every night. Second, when he woke up, he was immediately reaching for his phone and lying with his neck bent forward for several minutes, which was creating tension that traveled down the spine. Third, he was getting out of bed by sitting straight up from a lying position, which is one of the most mechanically stressful things you can do to a lower back that is already inflamed and irritated. And fourth, and this is the one that surprised him the most, he was going straight to the kitchen and sitting down for coffee before doing anything to warm up and mobilize his spine. So his muscles, already stiff and tight from a night of stillness, Went from lying in bed to sitting in a chair with essentially no transition period in between. No wonder he was in agony. What Gerald needed, and what I want to share with you today, is a specific sequence of gentle movements and habits designed to work with the biology of the morning spine rather than against it. A sequence that gradually reduces disc pressure, warms up the hip muscles, coaxes the sciatic nerve back into a less irritated state, and prepares the body for upright movement in a way that is safe, gradual, and genuinely effective. And the beautiful thing about this sequence is that it begins before you even get out of bed. The moment you wake up, before you reach for your phone, before you try to sit up, before you do anything else, there are two things you want to do while you are still lying flat. The first is what I call the gentle knee hug. While lying on your back, slowly bring both knees up toward your chest, wrapping your hands around your shins or behind your thighs, whichever is more comfortable. You are not forcing anything. You are simply allowing the weight of your legs to gently create a soft traction on the lower spine, taking some of the pressure off the disc and the nerve roots. Hold this position for about 30 seconds, breathing slowly and deeply. You should feel a gentle release in the lower back. If you feel any sharp or shooting pain, ease off slightly and find a position that allows you to feel a gentle stretch without pain. After the knee hug, while still on your back, try a gentle knee rock. Keep your knees bent with your feet flat on the mattress, and then slowly let both knees drop toward one side, rotating gently from the hips, not forcing the movement, just allowing gravity to guide it. Hold for a breath or two, then bring the knees back to center and let them drop to the other side. Repeat this slowly 4 or 5 times on each side. What you are doing is gently mobilizing the lumbar spine and beginning to warm up the hip rotators, including that piriformis muscle we talked about in an earlier video, in a completely unloaded position. Your spine is not bearing any weight. You are not fighting gravity. You are simply introducing gentle, controlled movement to tissue that has been still for 6 to 8 hours. And this makes an enormous difference in how that tissue responds when you do eventually ask it to bear your full body weight. Now here is the next step, and this one is absolutely critical. Do not sit straight up from a lying position. This is one of the most common mistakes that sciatica sufferers make, and it places enormous strain on the lower lumbar discs at a moment when they are already at maximum pressure from overnight fluid absorption. Instead, after your gentle movements, roll slowly onto your side, whichever side is more comfortable, curl your knees up slightly, and then use your top arm to push yourself up to a seated position while simultaneously swinging your legs off the side of the bed. This is called a log roll, and it dramatically reduces the shear forces on your lumbar spine during that transition from horizontal to vertical. It takes about 2 extra seconds, but those 2 seconds could be the difference between a painful morning and a manageable one. Once you are seated on the edge of the bed, do not stand up immediately. Sit for a moment. Let your body adjust. Take 3 or 4 slow, deep breaths. Then place your hands on your thighs or on the edge of the mattress. Lean slightly forward and rise slowly to standing, keeping your back relatively straight and using your leg muscles to push you up rather than jerking yourself upright. Once you are standing, stand still for a moment. Do not immediately start walking. Give your body a chance to register the upright position and begin redistributing that disc fluid before you put it under the additional stress of movement. After you are standing, there is one more thing I want you to do before you head to the kitchen or the bathroom, and that is a standing lumbar extension. Place your hands on your lower back with your fingers pointing downward and gently arch backward just slightly, holding for a count of 3, then return to neutral. Do this 3 or 4 times. This movement, called a Mackenzie extension by physical therapists, is one of the most evidence-based techniques for reducing disc pressure and centralizing the pain of disc-related sciatica. When you arch backward gently, you are creating a pumping action that encourages that excess disc fluid to redistribute in a direction that takes pressure off the nerve. For many people, doing this simple movement first thing in the morning produces an almost immediate reduction in that morning sciatica pain. Not a cure, but a real noticeable reduction in intensity. Now let us talk about something that happens a little later in the morning that is also directly affecting your sciatica, and that most people would never connect to their back pain. Breakfast. Specifically, what you eat and drink in the morning has a direct effect on the inflammatory environment in your body, which in turn affects how sensitized your sciatic nerve is going to be for the rest of the day. When you wake up, your cortisol levels are naturally at their highest point of the day. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and while it serves important functions, chronically elevated cortisol is also pro-inflammatory. If the first thing you put into your body in the morning is sugar, processed carbohydrates, or a large amount of caffeine on an empty stomach, you are essentially adding fuel to an inflammatory fire that is already burning. And an inflamed nervous system is a sensitized nervous system, which means your sciatica pain will feel more intense throughout the day, even if the mechanical situation in your spine has not changed at all. What you want to do instead is prioritize foods in the morning that have anti-inflammatory properties and that stabilize your blood sugar rather than spiking it. Eggs are an excellent morning choice. They contain choline, which supports nerve health, and they provide high-quality protein that helps stabilize blood sugar for hours. Berries, particularly blueberries and strawberries, are rich in antioxidants called anthocyanins that have been shown to reduce inflammatory markers in the body. Adding some ground flaxseed or chia seeds to yogurt or oatmeal provides omega-3 fatty acids, which are among the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds available. And starting your morning with a full glass of water before your coffee is one of the simplest and most impactful things you can do, because overnight you become mildly dehydrated, and dehydrated spinal discs are stiffer and less shock-absorbing than properly hydrated ones. Giving your body water first thing helps your discs begin rehydrating properly and functioning more effectively as the morning progresses. Let us also talk about heat versus cold in the morning, because there is a lot of confusion about this. Many sciatica sufferers reach for a heating pad first thing in the morning, and while heat can feel wonderful and does help muscles relax, there is an important nuance here. If your sciatica is in an active inflammatory flare, meaning the area is genuinely inflamed and irritated, applying heat to that area can actually increase blood flow to an already inflamed region and temporarily worsen the inflammation. In these situations, a brief application of cold, an ice pack wrapped in a thin towel applied to the lower back for 10 to 15 minutes, can be more effective at calming the acute inflammation. However, if your sciatica is more of a chronic, low-grade ache rather than an acute flare, gentle heat to the lower back and hip area before you start moving can help warm and soften the muscles, making those gentle morning movements we talked about more effective and more comfortable. Knowing which situation you are in takes a little self-awareness, but generally speaking, if there is any redness, warmth to the touch, or a very recent onset of severe pain, lean toward cold. If you have been dealing with this for weeks or months and mornings are just stiff and achy rather than acutely inflamed, gentle heat before movement can be genuinely helpful. There is one more piece of the morning puzzle that I want to address, and that is the first walk of the day. Walking is one of the best things you can do for sciatica. Research consistently shows that regular walking reduces disc pressure better than prolonged sitting or standing, promotes circulation to the nerve and surrounding tissues, activates the core muscles that support the spine, and releases endorphins that are your body's natural pain-modulating chemicals. But the timing and the pacing of that first walk matters. Going from lying in bed to a brisk 30-minute walk in the span of 20 minutes is too aggressive for most sciatica sufferers. Your tissues need that intermediate warm-up period we talked about. After your morning movement sequence, after your breakfast, after giving your body that 45 minutes to an hour of gradual awakening, then a slow, gentle 10 to 15-minute walk in the morning can be one of the most therapeutic things you do all day. Not a power walk, not a workout, just a slow, easy stroll where you focus on walking tall, keeping your shoulders back, and letting your arms swing naturally. This posture of walking creates optimal conditions for spinal alignment and nerve decompression. Gerald followed this sequence consistently for 8 weeks. 8 weeks of the same morning routine, every single day, even on the days when he did not feel like it, even on the weekends when he would have preferred to just lie in bed a little longer. And the changes he experienced were not dramatic overnight. They were gradual, but they were real and they were consistent. By week 3, he told me that the first moment of getting out of bed, that moment he had been dreading every morning for over a year, had gone from a 9 out of 10 in pain to about a 5. By week 6, he was waking up and actually feeling something he had not felt in a long time, a small sense of hope before he even got out of bed. Not because the pain was completely gone, but because he finally felt like he had something that was working. He had a plan, he had a sequence, he had something he could do that made a real difference. By week 8, Gerald sent me a message that I have thought about many times since. He said that for the first time in over a year, he had woken up on a Saturday morning, gone through his routine, walked down to the corner coffee shop 2 blocks from his house, sat outside in the sun with his coffee, and felt like himself. Not his old self. He acknowledged that things had changed, but himself, a person with agency, a person with a body that was working with him rather than against him. That is what I want for every person watching this video today. The morning is not just the beginning of your day. For sciatica sufferers, the morning is the foundation that determines how the rest of that day is going to feel. Get the morning right and you set yourself up for a day with manageable pain levels, better movement, and more hope. Get the morning wrong by jumping out of bed too quickly, by sitting immediately without warming up, by eating something inflammatory for breakfast, by skipping those few minutes of gentle movement, and you can set yourself up for a day where the pain controls you rather than the other way around. The difference between those 2 mornings is a handful of simple, consistent habits. And habits, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you have been in pain, can always be changed. I want to close today by saying something that I mean from the bottom of my heart. If you have been in pain for a long time, if you have tried things that have not worked, if you have started to lose faith that things can get better, please do not give up. The body has a remarkable capacity for healing when you give it the right conditions and the right support. Sometimes those conditions are simpler than we expect. Sometimes the change that makes the biggest difference is not a surgical procedure or an expensive treatment. Sometimes it is just learning to wake up differently. Please share this video with someone you know who wakes up every morning dreading that first moment of getting out of bed. It might be your spouse, your sibling, your neighbor who you have heard complaining about their back for months. A simple share could give them something they have been missing, which is a practical, science-based reason for hope. And please leave a comment below. Tell me how long you have been dealing with morning sciatica pain. Tell me what you have tried. Tell me what has helped even a little. I read every comment personally, and your words help shape the content we create every single week here at this channel. Your story matters, and someone out there needs to read it. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.